out placenta encapsulation DIY. I'm so excited. Emma obviously had her baby. Yay. But she had her placenta. Yay. I'm just kidding. The baby's way more exciting. Placenta encapsulation. Sure, I'm all about it because, you don't taste it. It's just like a multivitamin kind of deal. I might cut some and save some for a smoothie or something. That's awesome. So the main thing about preparing her placenta to be encapsulated, I did some research, and the big controversy was like raw versus steamed. That was like the main decision that I had to make on whether or not on how to do it. So I was doing some research, and steamed is kind of like the old way of doing it. Well, not old, people still do it. It's traditional way to do it. It's let me see. It's the traditional Chinese medicine method, which is the steamed way. And the benefits of doing it that way is you can add herbs and stuff to it. But the negative part of doing it that way is that it's heated over a certain degree. I think it's 118 degrees. And if it's heated over that degree, then the placenta starts to lose its nutrients. So I decided to do it raw. Not only does it keep all of the lovely nutrients, I get to omit a step. And that's like, 40 minutes I saved? Yay for me. And I was reading that most people nowadays are selecting to get it raw, to do it the raw way. All right, so we'll dive right in. Are you ready for some awesome pictures? Here we go. Okay, so it first came in a biohazard, it was in a bag, and it was in like a tube, not a tube, like a container, like a plastic container. Right. And I felt so bad for Emma's mom. Emma's mom took it to her house, and she was like, should I put it in the fridge or the freezer? Like, she put it in an extra bag because she thought, she was grossed out about it, which I thought was so funny. Okay, so here's the first picture. That's when I opened the container. That's the placenta in all its glory. All right, so I put it in a strainer in the sink, and sorry, you're supposed to rinse it off, get all the blood clots off. Gently do that. And then once it's all rinsed off, then you cut the umbilical cord off. And then what happens after that? You cut the umbilical cord off, and then, you locate the amniotic sac and cut it off, which was quite easy. Mostly it just pulled right off. It wasn't a big deal. And you flip it over to, I think it's mother side up, turn mother side up, and then remove any clots that you see, any excess blood. And you slice it up into little pieces. Look at that, little pieces. Do you like my tray? We don't eat meat at our house, so I had that tray, and I was like, hey, might as well use this instead of, paper or whatever, or paper towels. And that's my awesome dehydrator. Thank you, Amanda, for giving it to me. I cannot believe it was like fate. Amanda gave me this dehydrator. Well, she called me like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and she said, I have a dehydrator. Do you want it? Because I mentioned a long time ago, a couple years ago, when she told me she got it. And I was like, oh man, that's so awesome. Look how big it is. It's so awesome. All right, so here's one thing that you can do with the umbilical cord that's quite common. Put it in a heart. I don't know what you would do with it afterward. Emma and I, on one of our first shows, we joked that we could, hang it on a wreath or something. I don't know what she's going to do with it. All right, so here's the placenta all cut up into little pieces. Cut it into cubes, and then you dry it out. I think mine took 15 hours. I flipped the little pieces over halfway through, and I switched the trays around every few hours just to keep it normal. So there's the placenta after it was dehydrated, and at first I was like, oh my gosh, am I burning it? Like, is this wrong? But I guess beef jerky. When you look at beef jerky, it's like crusty and whatever. But you're supposed to dehydrate it until you break it and it cracks. So for Emma's placenta, it was 15 hours. And you're supposed to grind it all up. And I bought size 0 gelatin capsules. On a lot of the websites I was looking at on like DIY when I was doing my research and stuff, they used size 00. I couldn't find those, so I used 0. They're a bit smaller. So I was able to make 200 placenta capsules for Emma. 200 of these boogers. And it didn't take that long. I was reading, when I was doing my research, I was reading that it took a long time. Like, it took this one woman There I am. It took this one woman, like she said, 5 to 6 hours. And so I was kind of dreading that process. Like, oh my goodness, it's going to take me 5 to 6 hours to prepare this crap, whatever. But, I was pumped. I was ready to go. I was excited. And then I started filling them and I filled like, I don't know, 10 within like a couple minutes. And I was like, there's no way this is going to take me that long. So, yeah, it didn't take me that long. It took me maybe 2 hours to fill 200 capsules. So, not that long at all. And, oh, sorry, I'm not finished with my demonstration. You can store them indefinitely in the fridge in a dark container, which is awesome. Like, store them forever when you need them. And the prescription I found and gave Emma was take 3 capsules twice a day for the first 1 to 2 weeks, and then 3 capsules once a day for the week thereafter. And then when you feel fatigued, emotional, or feel like you have a low supply, take as needed. And you can use them, like, obviously, she's going to have so many left over after 3 weeks. She's probably only going to use, like, I don't know, a little over 100. So she's going to have quite a leftover stash if she doesn't use them as needed that much. She can use them when she gets her period and gets, like, all crampy and hormonal. She can just pop a placenta pill. It's all natural and lovely. It's got all those great hormones in it. And what I loved most is Emma, she asked for them. She like texted me when I was doing them, or I think the day after or something. It took me one whole day to do them. And she asked me the day after and she said, "Do you have them yet? Are they finished?" I was so excited. I was like, "Yes, I have them for you." Couldn't wait to give them for her. I was so stoked that she like asked me about them because I think in the beginning she was kind of like, I don't want to do this. Placenta gross, what normal people, what their reaction is. So some people asked me, why are you going to do this? And I said, there's so many benefits. They said, what? Like what? So I'm going to name some for you over here. So the placenta is the hormone powerhouse when you're pregnant, when your baby's in vitro. And when you give birth, the placenta, like when you give birth to your baby and then the placenta, there's a huge dip in your hormones, right? So this helps stabilize that. Taking the placenta capsules, every day or every, couple days, like a couple times every day, I mean, it helps to stabilize your hormones and you don't feel, you don't get the baby blues and you feel normal, no stress, right? All right. So while I was doing my research on why I did this, on the benefits and stuff, I came across this article and it said most mammals consume it, which is true, and humans we're mammals, obviously. So why not consume it ourselves? I think mostly because it kind of makes us feel like we're eating ourselves, but it's a piece of your body. It's got all those great hormones. So many people around the world know the secret power of the placenta. The customary practice is to prepare the placenta for consumption by the mother. That's what they do if you're, living in China or whatever. So in Italy, they eat parts of the placenta to help with lactation. In Hungary, women bite the placenta to expedite the completion of labor, which is like weird, just take it and biting it. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of benefits to that too. to help complete the labor process. So knowledgeable midwives in the United States have birthing mothers take bites of the raw placenta to help stop hemorrhaging, which I've heard in a couple different scenarios helps. So, it obviously helps if they're telling, a midwife is not going to be like, bite this for no reason. There's obviously benefits to it. So it helps with, and I still don't know how to pronounce this word, loca. It's the postpartum period. It helps with that. It helps, not make it 8 weeks, maybe less than 6 weeks. It helps fight the baby blues, the postpartum depression. It gives you a happy postpartum period since all the hormones and stuff aren't escalating and, going up and down. It's a stress reducer. It helps with lactation. There was a Chinese study. Ooh, I read this and I thought it was so cool. There was a Chinese study that they gave dried placenta to a series of mothers who were having trouble with their milk supply, and 86% of them had an increased milk supply. Amazing. 86%? That's incredible. It helps with your recovery period. It contains your natural hormones and balances your system out. And one of the main hormones that it contains is oxytocin, which is like the happy hormone that you get a rush of right after you give natural childbirth, like a vaginal birth. You get a rush of that oxytocin, which is like, take these happy pills. I think I'm going to start calling them happy pills. Emma, take your happy pills. It replenishes your depleted iron. It gives you more energy. It helps get your uterus back to pre-pregnancy state. It decreases sleep disorders, which is awesome. New moms, their sleep is like all over the place anyway because they have to wake up when baby wakes up, which is all the time. So it helps fight sleep disorders. And what else do I have? It's perfectly made for you. It's made by you for you. Eat it. Capsule it up. I've also read, which is interesting, and I don't know why. I didn't research why. I just read your firstborn male placenta is the most enriched. Why that makes sense, I don't know, but it's pretty cool to know, right?